Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Thanks for watching on YouTube TV, listening on Sirius XM, channel 158, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or any of our great affiliates across the country. Busy hour coming up. We will get into today's Major League Baseball card in 15 minutes. Spencer Aguiar on the program. We'll talk some best bets on the PGA Tour. He's made one appearance on this show ever. It was last week, and he hit the winner last week at 45-1. Pretty good. And your best bets, well, some long shot bets, pizzeria-wise, coming up in 45 minutes. We just talked to Will Hill, who is from the East Coast, from Connecticut, but a lifelong Vikings fan, as you are, Pauly. So I just happened to bring that up, like, where were you? And he remembers exactly where he was. You do. I'm not even a Vikings fan. I know exactly where. I can give you the address where I was at watching. Jefferson Street in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, where I on my own watching it. And I was going crazy when he missed the kick. You have never once gone back to watch that game?
No.
Ever?
I won't do it.
But you pulled out some stuff from your memory bank when he was talking about it, like you remember like it was yesterday.
Maybe one of the reasons he took the knee, which was asinine, is because they were up 2 scores before halftime, and they sacked Cunningham and fumbled right before half, and it led to a touchdown for Atlanta. But you're right. They were 14-2. The Vikings were 15-1. Anderson hadn't missed a kick all year. Highest scoring offense in NFL history. Double-digit lead. And then running out the clock up 7 in the fourth quarter. And Robert Smith kept running out of bounds. And then crowds chanting Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Yep. Anderson comes out, misses the kick, and still enough time for Chris Chandler to take him down the field. They almost had the interception. They tie it. They overtakes the knee. They go to overtime. They get a stop, and then Morton.
It's like you just watched it 10 minutes ago.
It was a Morton Anderson the game winner. I was just I couldn't. Yeah.
This is from our buddy Power Trip Bets on X. Not only was Gary Anderson perfect on the season, but according to the superstar Mike Morris, his long snapper, Anderson did not miss a single kick even in practice all year long. And I'll believe that. I will.
Inside. Like 39-yarder. Come on.
I think we all have that one game, though, right? As either bettors or fans. I'll tell you this. The 2014 NFC title game, Packers in Seattle, I will never watch another highlight of that game ever in my entire life. That's the one that, right here, kidney, Mitch. That they had that game won 100 different times. And they just completely gave it to Seattle.
Yep.
Every imaginable way. So either it's just like
you have that or a bad beat. It costs you money or a con. I mean, how about the year Aaron Renning lost first place in a suit Westgate contest?
The gold.
It was the Christmas game back. The Raiders did the stupid lateral throw it backwards on the last play, and Philly scooped it and scored on the final play to cover.
Yeah, and what was that worth? A couple $100,000?
Yeah. Because it's only paid one spot.
Yeah, I think it was like, maybe I could be wrong. I think it was worth like $500,000 that year. And that's how he lost it. So there's always that one bad beat, or as a fan of a team, which game is it for you? You can always get in touch with the show on X at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Pauly Howard, and the email here is ftm at vsin.com.
Well, for a long time, I'm sure Red Sox, how could you watch the Buckner game? You got to change the channel every time that's mentioned or that would come on. Yeah. Which, the damage was already done. We know that Bob Stanley blew it and Schiraldi had blown it. Stanley comes in, but how do you watch that? You're two outs, nobody on. You're going to win the World Series.
Sure you are.
And all hell breaks loose.
Well, you're also a Cubs fan before they won in 2016.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got the 84 series. And
84's bad. Bartman game's worse.
Well, the Bartman game is...
The Bartman game's all time.
Yeah.
Alou's going to catch that ball.
Yeah.
And Mark Pryor was unbelievable that year and the career he was supposed to have. And then the wheels came off.
Yeah, I
think they were up 3 runs in that game in the 8th inning.
They were.
And that opened the floodgates where Alou loses his mind and they need a security escort and they were going to kill Bartman.
Sure.
How about that?
Don't forget
we still haven't heard from the guy. Nothing, right? And I don't think he turned down every request to throw out a first pitch or whatever. That guy just disappeared.
Do you blame him? In hiding for the rest of his life?
He could have capitalized on it, I know.
Yeah.
Once people settle down, and especially since they won a World Series, he could have capitalized on it.
After that, yeah. Maybe
done a book. I had to move, relocate to Florida, whatever, yeah.
He's clearly just heartbroken for the rest of his life. I mean, that's just don't forget about the Alex Gonzalez error at shortstop.
Butchered it.
Killed. Yeah, absolutely he did.
Yeah.
So we'll get into this. Do you have any Heisman bets?
No, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Carr should be the favorite.
I would not take Carr.
Right, and now it's also. Now I know we interviewed the Golics one time when we were at Arizona. Mm-hmm. They're saying you only can lose one game. I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but they lose 2 games, they won't make the playoff. But I think it's what Aaron Moore said yesterday. They're going to be blowing people out. He's not going to be on the field.
Yeah, and they're going to run the football probably quite a bit again this year.
So he's going to be sitting a lot of fourth quarters, too. That's going to hurt him.
So I'm glad you brought that up, Paulie. I have some trends here going back. The last 20 years, the Heisman winner has been on a team that averaged 1.25 losses that year over the last 20 years. Quarterbacks, obviously, they've dominated 16 of the last 20. However, in recent years, Devontae Smith, 2020 pandemic season, won it as a wide receiver for Alabama. And 2 years ago, Travis Hunter, wide receiver and cornerback, won it for Colorado. Since 2000, 14 Heisman Trophy winners have played for teams that made it to the national title game. There's that. When Smith won it in 2020, he's one of only 5 seniors to win the Heisman in the last 20 years. Now I'm not going to go out there and tell you to only circle transfer quarterbacks, but a majority of the guys near the top of the leaderboard are going to be transfer quarterbacks. That's a reason why. 5 of the last 6 Heisman winning quarterbacks were transfers. Mendoza, the 4th straight overall to do that. Since 2013, 5 Heisman, this is not really a trend, but it's more of a fact. 5 Heisman winners have gone on to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Only 1 preseason betting favorite has won since 2014. That was Marcus Mariota. That's another reason why I'm not going to be on Carr. I'm not going to be on Arch Manning. And here's one for you. Almost 2/3 of winners started the year on a team ranked outside the AP top 5. So all of that boiled down to you basically have to win 11 or 12 games. And
well, does that take out a lot of SEC teams then? Because you got to play your schedule and how many conference games you got to play now?
I'd like to say yes, but don't forget about Jane Daniels a couple years ago, who won the award.
Yeah, that's right. Kind of like a RG3 type thing.
Sure.
Just had ridiculous numbers and you ignore the record.
So who would that guy be this year? Would it be Chambliss?
That fits.
If he kills it, but they get outscored a bunch and every game they score 38 points and his numbers are silly and they still win 9 games, like, okay, yeah, we're going to give it to this guy. I also don't like to bet West Coast players, to be honest, unless you're a quarterback for USC or Oregon. I don't, because the year that Daniels won it, Michael Penix's numbers were insane on an undefeated team. No, couldn't win the award.
I'll never forget the McCaffrey screw job.
Of course.
Total screw job.
Mm-hmm. All-time record for yards from scrimmage. Not the winner. Had to give it to Derrick Henry from Alabama that year. Okay, sure. But look at how many quarterbacks on here have been transfers, right? Now, specifically is for this year, Carr's not, Manning's not, Dante Moore not, but he is a transfer. Mensa obviously is a transfer. Sayin isn't, Hoover is, Chambliss, and then you get Gunnar Stockton at Georgia, Sam Levitt from LSU, obviously, and the list goes on from there. I'm not going to bet Jeremiah Smith at 14-1. I'd rather have Malachi Toney from Miami at 38-1.
Okay.
Because Ohio State's schedule is very difficult, and Miami should be like an 11-win team this year.
What can BYU do? I mentioned earlier in the guide, I think it was Maher picked BYU to go to the Final Four.
Right.
Can Bachmeier do it? They get Notre Dame at home. If they go 11-1 and he puts up ridiculous numbers.
See here. They avoid Texas Tech. Yeah, it would basically have to be, because this used to be a thing too where something big has to happen on national TV. JVT and I talked about this today on the podcast. Pod of the Future is going to be out a little bit later on today. Well, which game's not on national TV anymore?
Well, yes, right.
Right, like basically every game is. But if
that's a good point. It's also about you can't handicap this or predict it, but who's ESPN going to remember what they did with Hunter? It's like, okay, they're up 30-0, throwing the ball to him in a blowout. Oh, look at this touchdown! It's like, okay, they're trying to pad the stats and give them the award.
Yeah, that's absolutely very true. So if BYU is undefeated going into the Notre Dame game, and they shocked the world, and Bachmeier is the reason why, and he puts up great numbers. Like, our buddy Chris Massero has huge tickets on Bachmeier to win. Like, if that happens and they're still 6-0 at that point and he has a great game, what does he turn into? 5-1? 8-1? He's going to be one of the short shots to win it for sure.
It's definitely doable. They do have the Holy War at Utah, November 7th.
Uh-huh.
You get Baylor, Kansas, Cincinnati after that.
They're preseason top 15. 15th overall.
1, 2, 3. They should be 5-0.
Should be 5-0.
Hosting Notre Dame.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And in fact, I'll say this: his number is going to be gone when if they are 5-0. He's going to have gaudy numbers based on their schedule, and the number is going to be cut in half from where it is right now, probably going into the Notre Dame game. Now, if it doesn't go well for him and Notre Dame beats him upside the head, that ticket is probably dead at that point.
Yeah. How about Mateer? That's what Will was talking about too. He was right there to win the award before the injury.
Sure he was. There's a case for Mateer. I want nothing to do with Levitt from LSU. Do you?
No, I don't.
I can't get behind that.
Saying the numbers aren't going to be there. These are tough.
I know. What's the dynamic going to be like between Sane and Smith? What if it's all Smith and then I'm...
Yeah, I know. You catch a 70-yard bomb, who's going to get the credit?
Yeah,
I give it to the wide receiver.
We'll dive into today's Major League Baseball card coming up next. We'll give you, I think, the most incredible stat today, and it has to do with a player at Coors Field next here on VSiN.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Today's Major League Baseball card coming up in a second. We're getting, obviously, strong reaction on games that you can't go back and watch ever again as either a bettor or as a fan. Big Kahuna says, 40 years now later, still can't watch Kirk Gibson hitting a home run.
Good one.
Eckersley could not be touched that year.
He was like Gary Anderson. Gary Anderson didn't miss a kick. Eckersley was untouchable.
Yep.
He was a cheat code. And somehow Gibson, I think he won the MVP. And that was the only thing he did in the series. He couldn't play.
Yeah.
And I still can't believe that. He just serves it into the bleachers.
Yeah.
What a moment.
This is from Tom and the entire Bills Mafia. Can't go back and watch anything to do with the 4 straight Super Bowl losses. How could you? How could you go back and live through the Norwood kick ever again on highlights or lowlights? Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Can't get back. They've had a huge window now for like the last 5-6 years. Can't get back to the game. Keep them coming. FTM@vsin.com is the email. On X at VSiN Live at Mitch Moss Radio at Pauly Howard. I have not done anything, Pauly, tonight with the Dodgers-Cubs game either. Will Hill said the same thing earlier. Scubo's been really good, obviously. 8 earned runs, last 6 starts combined, 4-1 with a 1.95 ERA in that span, 50 strikeouts to 6 walks. They are on a 4-game losing streak. You said it perfectly yesterday. This Cubs team is so schizophrenic, they might rattle off 10 straight at any point. If anything, I look at the Cubs here, but this is probably going to be a hard pass for me.
Well, it's 6th time that the reigning Cy Young Award winner was traded midseason. The last time was Verlander that it happened. His numbers have been ridiculous, what he's doing. 8 earned runs his last 6, 4-1 with an ERA of 1.98. Price is high here. But this is, like Will said, maybe nerves or he just comes in and dominates again. But they're in a funk here that they've lost 4 in a row. And the Cubbies' bats were fantastic yesterday. But Bregman has had great numbers against him career. But I would think he comes out and puts the hammer down here. And but still, look what the price is. It's crazy what the price is on the road.
Yep.
With the respect he's getting in this Dodger team. So it ties into what I said yesterday, though, too, about the motivation. I mean, the division's over. Do they really care about the 1 seed?
I know.
They've been going through the motions here lately.
You mentioned Bregman, so he's hit for the cycle in his career. 7 of 15, a home run, triple-double in that mix as well. He's got good numbers off of Skubal entering this game. Cardinals and Yankees tonight. It's Hobbins against Weathers in this spot. Wild game last night at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees bullpen, which they did not improve at the deadline, gave up 9 runs in 6 innings, and now relievers are 0-4 with a 6+ ERA and a 9.14 OPS allowed over their last 7 games overall. Here's the thing, too. Ben Rice, what a slump all of a sudden. His last 12 games, his slash line is 130, 200, 239. He is 6 of 46 with 17 strikeouts in those 12 games. And tonight, Weathers was really good in his last start. You want to chase that?
Yeah. No, I do not.
Same.
The other thing, too, we talked about yesterday, and I'll see how this works out with all the moves. Seth sent this in. This is from Baseball America. 70% of prospects traded at the deadline since 2015 have a 0 or negative WAR or have not made the majors, period.
I buy into it. Yeah, sure. It's almost like they're turning into like lottery tickets here.
Yeah. Can't part with the prospects. No,
Nope.
Can't go for it.
Nope.
Can't do it.
Won't do
Even
it.
if it's a rental. For these guys, most of them don't even make it. That's incredible.
So what would you say, Pauly, about the Brewers if they had the deadline that the Cubs did? Pretty aggressive. Cubs, I thought, kind of killed it, right?
Yeah, they did a good job. And maybe the Brewers surpassed the Dodgers.
I would say that
yes.
if you flip it, right, and you gave Milwaukee's trading deadline haul that the Cubs had, I think we'd all be agreeing here that, you know what, they might be able to beat the Dodgers in a 7-game series. Mm-hmm. Like they are stacked now. They have the personnel to go and pull it off. But they didn't. You mentioned this earlier. The Red Sox number is going up a little bit here. They're taking money, as nobody should be surprised here. It's Martin against Sandoval. Martin was a really good story. His first 11 starts, he was 8-1 with a 2 ERA, but his last 10 starts, 1-4 with a 5.84 ERA and a whip of 1.6.
Yeah, plus the White Sox are lousy on the road. It is a Malinsky special? I think Boston's back after the day off, but Boston's back after the long road trip. But I'm surprised at the number because the White Sox are a different team on the road. Mm-hmm. They're so good at home and have all their issues on the road. So, and plus, how do you go against a team that's on a 23-3 run? It's ridiculous. This stretch is ridiculous. They're number 1 in ERA. The bullpen's got a 1.49, which is number 1. The White Sox are number 2. It's a 2.50 ERA. It's total domination what's happened going back during this stretch.
Now, for what it's worth, Martin did go against the Red Sox on July 8th. He gave up 5 runs in 4 innings.
They swept them there, too.
Yeah, the Red Sox got him 5-0 in that game.
Yeah. How about Rodriguez for Arizona? They won again last night.
I know.
And Fott was good. There are 7 games over 500. They're 15-6 last 21. He is the 3rd most profitable pitcher in baseball. They're 17-5 when he starts. You're up 12 units every time Rodriguez goes for Arizona. And he goes against Vasquez and the Padres, and they couldn't get anything going offensively yesterday.
Nope.
So this is $1.15 at home. That's under the radar. Number 1 is Sagano for Colorado, of all people. And he goes tomorrow. You're up 14 units betting that guy.
Well, I think that I'm a little bit late to the party here, but if the numbers remain the same, Fott's the guy that we want a piece of in these individual games. He was really good again he's been awesome since coming back. And the Diamondbacks are... So let me pay this off, by the way. Yep. So we talked about it earlier. Bring it up one more time. But it's the Rays-Rockies game tonight. I think this series could go like the Blue Jays series did in Colorado last year. Remember when they scored like 40 runs in 3 games?
Yeah, they should hammer him again today.
I think so, too. So Caminero last night with 2 home runs. He was higher than 3-1 to smack 1. He hit 2. Peralta, in his career at Colorado, has a 1.23 ERA in 5 career games, 4 starts at Coors. Incredible. Tovar, who homered last night in his career against Freddie, 5 of 14, 2 home runs. Only Craig Stammen has an ERA lower, and it's 1.22 compared to 1.23 as a visiting pitcher at Coors. Isn't that something else?
Yes.
So I played the Rays team total over 5.5 tonight. I think they're going to maul the ball.
Yep.
In every game there.
With you there. I'm also with Will Hill on the Orioles team total over. Rodriguez has the 2nd worst ERA in baseball. if you got at least 40 innings. He's got a 7.98. Only Senga's worse. Mm-hmm. And they're throwing. Plus, they traded all those guys too. And it's Povich for Baltimore, and he's $1.50, total of 9.
All right, so here's another bet that I have tonight. I have 2 in the same game. It's Tigers at Mariners. Melton takes on Hancock. Yes, I understand Detroit. They were sellers yesterday at the deadline. They got rid of Skubal, and also they got rid of Mize. That has no impact on this game tonight because Melton is going, and on top of that, Detroit has been, think about this, the last 2 months, they're 32-20. Only the Red Sox, 35-18, have a better record overall in that frame. They have scored 8+ runs in 5 straight games. First time since 1996. They just swept the A's. Now, that's no great shakes because the A's are in horrendous form, but they outscored them 32-7. The Mariners had to have like walk-off wins back-to-back against the Twins over the weekend. Mm-hmm. They've only won 4 of their last 12. Melton has allowed 2 runs or fewer in each of his last 7 starts, 1.09 with the ERA. Since June 20th, among 117 pitchers, his ERA of 1.09 leads every single pitcher. They've won 9 of his last 11 starts, 45 and 56 in all their other games. I took plus 105 in the first 5 and plus 111 for the full game today with Melton.
Cosign.
Like them both there.
No problem with that one. Yep.
And then...
Hey, I don't mind. You want to go with the Reds. That's fine. Even though Ginn's been solid, but you got a team that's just dead man walking. They've lost 31 of 40. Just been ugly for the A's.
Yep. So I haven't bet it yet, but the reason why is because I'm hesitant to do so with Singer on the mound. However, his last 4 starts, 2-2 with a 2.13 ERA. That includes a 6-1 loss to Cleveland when he went 4 1/3 and gave up 4 of those runs in that span. So the A's, as you mentioned, that 40-game stretch, they were 36-36 at one point. 9-31 since. They have lost 11 consecutive series.
Yes.
And no series wins in 13 straight. They're 0-12-1 in that span.
Oh.
It's just absolutely pathetic. Sal Stewart, and man, Weatherholt, I get it, to win the NL Rookie of the Year, but Stewart...
Can have 100 RBIs.
He leads baseball with RBIs with C.J. Abrams.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
Football season's here. Hall of Fame game Thursday. Just like the players, you need your reps before week 1. The Sharps has a free weekly league that lets you practice the same football plays you already study, props, sides, totals, and combos. Everyone starts with 10,000 chips. Build your stack, climb the leaderboard, sharpen your reads before the season kicks off. Enter at jointhesharps.com or scan the QR code on the screen and use code VSIN50 for a 50% deposit bonus. Jointhesharps.com, code VSIN50. Weekly head-to-head. Start with 10,000 chips each Tuesday. Win, chip stack grows, lose it all, hit 0, done for the week. Check it out. Free weekly leagues. Jointhesharps.com, code VSIN50. Jointhesharps.com.
Spencer Aguiar joins the program next. Made his Follow the Money debut last week. Nailed the winner at the Rocket Classic. Who does he like this week? Find out next.
This is Follow the Money on VSIN.
Pretty good debut last week, I would say, for Spencer Aguiar. Joined the program. We talked Rocket Mortgage Classic, and he tipped off Michael Thorbjornsen. And he went on to win, and he was awesome on Sunday, and he was around 45-1, maybe a little bit higher. And Spencer obviously has to join the program off of that great weekend result that he had. He is at T-Off Sports on X. TOffsports.club is the website. Tremendous result last week, Spencer. Tip of the cap to you, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Like, we were talking a little bit off air before we started this, and if every single week would be like that, it wouldn't be gambling. And I always give the answer that outrights in golf are something nice to be able to hit to boost the bankroll. It's not necessarily the market that I would pick for everybody if we're trying to sustainably build a bankroll at the end of the day. But when you can get something like that across the finish line, first time on this show, it obviously looks good, at least from a headline standpoint.
Yeah, no doubt. So let's break down this week now for the Wyndham Championship. Tell us, let's begin with this before we get into your bets that you like, how this course sets up and which stats kind of matter to you the most this weekend.
Yeah, so another Donald Ross course this week. It's going to be very short in its layout. It's going to be sub 7,200 yards, par 70. Bermuda greens. And, I've given this answer in articles and on podcasts throughout the week. If you look at the winning scores over the last 5 iterations of this contest, you're going to hover right around 20 under par for who wins this. And you get this general expectation to where it's one of the 12 most predictable venues on tour each year for rollover production. That's typically something that you can expect when you see the buckets start pushing into similar production ranges. So what I mean by that, 8 par 4 holes stretched between 400 to 450 yards. You're going to get a little less than 80% of approach shots that come from 125 plus yards. Your real big bucket of increase is going to be from 125 to 175, about an 8% increase from what you typically get from a standard tour stop. And a lot of that is fun to come on a show, talk about. It maybe makes model building a little bit easier. But the one thing I will say, at least in my opinion, is there's a flip side to the equation that's worth pointing out to that. If there is a blueprint that everybody can follow, and we know this tournament every single year produces similar results, it makes it marginally easier for the sports books. It's going to allow sports books to skew numbers ever so slightly. And then you even want to go the more convoluted route with it and talk about DFS or anything like that. All of a sudden you find people landing in really similar buckets. So I think how you build a model this week is important. At its very core, I tried to find golfers that could locate fairways. I think you need to be good from that proximity bucket that I talked about. And because you have these tricky Bermuda Ross style greens, it doesn't mean you have to be a good putter necessarily to find success here, but you do need to be a good Bermuda putter if you want to get to that 20 under par mark.
Okay, let's go top of the board then. How short do you want to go with building this portfolio out?
When I came on last week, I talked about that I didn't want to start this thing at less than 50 to 1. And, you can number shop and talk about exactly where some of those numbers landed, and Thor Bjornsson being the top of the board for me of how I built my card in that 45 or 50 to 1 range. I had a little bit of a change of perspective this weekend. I think you asked me at the end of the show about Jackson Koiven and my thoughts on him. And I kind of said that I think Koiven is a name that in the next 5 years might be the one that dethrones Scotty Scheffler. It doesn't mean it's going to happen today, but we're kind of on that trajectory of best amateur golfer we've ever seen in golf, comes onto the PGA Tour, wins within his first 5 pro PGA starts. I didn't necessarily think last week was the best course fit for him. When I ran numbers for this tournament, and if you just play the blind resume test and you remove names from the equation, Jackson Koiven for this tournament, and I'm not saying this is the right answer, guys, because it's a small sample size of data of what we're pulling from. But if you just take this small sample size and you don't try to extrapolate out the statistics, Koiven kind of looks like a Scotty Scheffler-esque player inside of my model, to where just the raw data is pushing him into this 10, 11, or 12 under, or 12, 11, or 12 to 1 range of where he should be winning this golf tournament. He's number 1 across the board in pretty much every key metric that I am looking for this weekend. The caveat to that is it's limited sample size. The expectation of regression has to come into play. I just think for me, as I built my model this weekend, I'm kind of trying to figure out what I'm trying to dive into and what the numbers say. There is this hidden projection and hidden box of what is Jackson Koiven actually as a PGA Tour professional? What can we expect from him moving forward? And that blind resume leads me in this direction to try to be aggressive on him if the raw data from the small sample size is saying he should be half this price. I'm not necessarily saying I would bet him down to this number. I think if you can get him 18 to 1 or higher, that's probably more of like the realistic zone that you want to find for this. But I think Koiven's potential and his course fit for this tournament is really going to resonate through. So I thought we were getting a soft price on him in these 18 to 20 to 1 zones that he's currently at.
I was shopping around right now. Some books have moved to like 15, 16, but you can still find 20s out there.
Yeah.
How about Ben Griffin?
Yeah, that's
oh, sorry.
No, I was just really quickly to wrap a bow on the Jackson Koiven thing. If you look at a lot of the sharp markets out there, I mean, I've seen him as low as 11 to 1, and that's a little bit ridiculous of what it's at, but you can very consistently find him at 15 to 1, and that's not where you want to be betting him, but it kind of goes to show the point that there is influential money moving him. And according to my model right now from opening numbers, he is the second most influential move of sharp dollars that we've seen come into play. So I think Koivu makes a lot of sense there. As you asked about the Ben Griffin question, I thought this Griffin number, and, shop around to see where you can find the best. Circa has 27 to 1. I believe you can still get this into the 30s if you look around. I got him at 35 to 1. That number is mostly gone at this point, but I think anything in the high 20s or low 30s makes a lot of sense. This was a golfer for me. Just look at course history. 3 top 11 finishes in this tournament, not necessarily a course history guy at my core of stuff, but I thought you got this enhanced number on him because of the miscut that he provided at the Rocket Classic. Kind of soft pricing to begin there. Number 3 player in my model in weighted strokes gained total. Number 4 when you look at comp courses, so anything that looks like Sedgefield in its layout. And that kind of just carries across the board, whether that be weighted scoring, which is just an extrapolation for me of every single hole and how a player is projected to perform from those distances. And then number 6 for easy scoring courses plus Bermuda. So he's kind of checking all the boxes that I'd want to see at what I thought was an enhanced price to open early on Monday, and has kind of hovered in this zone for 24 plus hours now.
Okay, very good. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Spencer Aguiar. You can follow him on X at TOffSports. The website is toffsports.club as well. So there's Koivu 20, Griffin 30. If you can still find him in that neighborhood, maybe 28 is out there as well, like you said at here at Circa. Who are a couple of other guys that you have you bet so far this week in terms of winning this bad boy outright?
I took Gerard in the 30s. I don't like this number as much in the 20s. Like, one of the things I've talked about with him is this highly volatile profile that he brings to the mix. I've talked about the rollover expectation of this course and how the same players seem to play well over and over again. And it's kind of the anti-Ben Griffin answer that I just discussed of a player that's consistently rolling out top 10s. You look at Gerard, back-to-back missed cuts at this tournament. I think the caveat on the opposite end of this is to look at the current form, and you have to hope that some of the form that he's bringing to the mix is able to far exceed what he has done at this course historically. I think from a downside perspective, just to tell the entire story here, not the greatest Bermuda putter, so you get some negative trajectory there. Some of the Bermuda splits in general kind of go in the wrong direction. So just something to keep in mind with him. And then the name that I really like throwing a bullet on that's down this board, and I believe Circa has this number, I see 120 to 1. I mean, you can even get this lower than that, but I got him at 150. You can still find that price on Lee Hodges. To me, this is a golfer where the ceiling is extremely high in my model and the floor is to miss the cut. It's kind of what we've seen from him historically over the last year. Top 20 finishes at the John Deere and the 3M, missed cuts at the Rocket, Scottish, RBC Canadian Open, but just purely from a statistical perspective, the metrics really like how he fits on similar courses inside of the top 15 in all 3 similar course metrics that I ran. And I think when you look at what he's done historically at this course of nothing being inside of the top 40 in the last 3 go-arounds of this, I feel like there is upside and untapped potential that the market didn't necessarily see. So I bet him 4.5 to 1 to come top 20. I think you can take that number at 150 to 1 to win this tournament. Wouldn't mind even moving up the ladder, betting him 10 to 1 to come top 10. All of those things are in play, but my advice would be just bet it for the upside. Do not take it in the safety markets.
Yeah. That is awesome analysis. You got a couple of other bets as well. Bazoot and Hoot top 20 at 3 to 1 as well. For more, you can go and follow him on X at TOffSports and also TOffSports.club. Spencer, it'd be something else to go back-to-back. Best of luck this week. Thanks for the time.
Thank you. I appreciate the time, guys.
There you go. Spencer Aguiar on the Progressive Guest Line. Very good stuff out of him. Up next, we're going to grab a bite inside of our pizzeria. Long shot bets that can pay off quite handsomely, including a 55,000 to 1 shot with 2 of the 6 legs already in.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Hungry for a winner? Sometimes all you need is a slice.
You make this pizza?
We swap pepperoni for parlays and give you alternate lines instead of anchovies.
I'm telling you, this pizza idea is really gonna happen.
From our kitchen to your wallet, sweat with us and throw some pizza money on it.
Double meatball, pepperoni, sausage, peppers, onions, extra mozzarella.
Welcome to Mitch and Pauly's Pizzeria.
Yeah, you know it, little bread. Got to have the meatballs as well. Start out with the appetizer. We'll try to get to as many as we can. You guys send a plethora of in. Great job. Always FTM at vsin.com. My favorite, this guy has got a $4.80 ticket. It's a 6-legger. It pays $141,000. He's got 5 in. He needs the Yankees to win the World Series.
Oh, mama.
How about that? I put that on Instagram, the ticket. Oh, man. Why not the American League? Could have been better, but this guy's got 5 in already. Gordon in Oregon. Start with a banger. He's got 3 already in from last year's NFL season. Can't log into DraftKings. I'm out of the country to see what the cash out is. I'm letting it ride anyways. 3 winners in the NFL. With Spain World Cup, another winner. Spurs win the West. He has the Dodgers to win the World Series to close the ticket, 630 to 1.
Huh. Is that a good ticket to have on the Dodgers?
Oh, man. And he gets Scooble while he's out of the country.
At 630 to 1 now. The final leg.
That's great, Gordon.
Is LA.
That's great. Ben in Indiana. Spain semis. England quarters. Fever semis?
Yeah.
You can bet that?
Yes, you can.
Brewers National League, 78 to 1. You're cooking, Ben.
Well, he needed a better deadline from the Brewers, but other than that, it's very good.
Yeah, they can also, yeah.
Yeah,
you make the NLCS.
Sure.
Tim, UConn Final Four winner. Seahawks Super Bowl money line winner. Red Sox World Series, 86 to 1. He thought the ticket was dead 5 weeks ago. Sure,
Yeah,
everyone
why not?
did. Dead as Dillinger.
It's like the
great line.
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs.
It's the Undertaker meme.
Right.
It's got a pulse, baby.
The real Mr. ACL's back. Real Mr. ACL on X. Gives these out as gifts a lot of times. Texans win the AFC rather. Red Sox American League Lynx WNBA 130 to 1.
Okay, well,
not bad.
The final leg is the leg I think that's the biggest takeaway here, I think, for the segment. Building these bad boys. Don't you think the Lynx have to be part of it? Who will beat that
they're
team
going to be hard to beat
in a series?
I'd say the Aces have the best chance.
So do
but
I.
Lynx are better. That was a great game against the Fever, but I just don't think the Fever have enough defense to slow them down.
Probably not.
But he's definitely live with the Red Sox. And then how do you feel about the Texans? Well, can we see some improvement out of Stroud? The defense is nasty, and they mess with the offensive line to upgrade. Can't be any worse.
I'm not making this up, Paulie. It feels like every single day somebody new is reaching out to me and saying, boy, am I high in the Texans this year.
Okay. Hope so. Will in Massachusetts. This reminds me of the Brewers' value last year. Red Sox win the American League 33 to 1.
Yeah.
A lot of big tickets out there on the Red Sox. 23-3 run.
It's a good analogy, by the way.
Yeah.
Brewers were, 25 to 1 middle of the summer.
Mike in Pennsylvania. Fresno, Oregon, and Georgia all make their conference title games. Texas Tech wins the Big 12. Notre Dame makes the semis of the college football playoff, 67 to 1. I like it.
So Fresno to make it to the Pac-12 title game. Oregon and Georgia. Now that's getting very creative, yeah. Not getting too greedy here.
Fresno spanked Boise on the road last year.
Yeah. They are a huge, by the way, number to win why can't they win the Pac-12? 6 to 1 in that neighborhood?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Humans
Good coach.
loves their win total over.
He does, yeah. Talk about that tomorrow. Where am I? Kyle in Nashville. Rays American League, Dodgers National League. Rams beat the Chargers exacta. 737 to 1.
Well, you're certainly going to get some crazy prices when you put the exactas together before a season starts in any sport.
Could be the dream scenario if that happens. If they both host, they got to play a game on Monday night then. They share the stadium.
Yeah.
Both can't host the same day NFC, AFC title games. Here's your big boy. This is Braden in Kansas. Oklahoma College World Series winner at a big price. Spain or France, double chance to win World Cup cash. Lynx WNBA. Broncos, Bears division, Brewers World Series. 55,723 to 1. I don't know. People are sleeping on Denver. A lot of Chargers hype. People talk about Mahomes and the Chiefs. Schedule's tough, but Denver should have went to the Super Bowl last year.
I wonder how many tickets Braden put in. Like, was this the only one? Or did he take a flyer on, like, several?
Well, that's a good ticket. I think the one that bothers, the one that I have the most trouble with would be the Bears. Just because of they were so lucky last year and every break went their way, and they're in a tough division, but can't count out Ben Johnson.
For the radio audience asking, how the hell was that 55,000 to 1? He put it in when Oklahoma was still 18 to 1 to win the College World Series.
There you go.
So it wasn't like the final weekend of the year.
Yes, right. Yes. Chris Massaro, Red Sox AL East. Miami wins it. Wins college football
I believe
playoff.
so, yep.
Patriots AFC East, 685 to 1. Woo!
Well, imagine if the Red Sox get there.
I think they can. 5.5 back. I like Boston more than the Yankees, but you got to overcome the Rays, who are so strong,
Right
especially
there.
with that best home record.
He included the bet side. $200 pays $137,000. Be a fun one to cash for Massaro.
Are you worried about Cristobal blowing a game?
No, I thought they did a great job last year.
No, they did. I know.
Thought they
no
really
doubt.
did.
But he blew a game last year, though, too.
I think that they just are going to overwhelm so many teams. Now, when it comes to, it could be like a total coin flip in the playoffs, obviously. But look at what they did a year ago. They manhandled Ohio State. They're right there with Indiana. I'd say they got fortunate to beat Ole Miss, but...
Sorry, Bookies has Travis Hunter MVP 200 to 1. I thought they're going to cut down on the two-way.
So did I. I thought it was going to be full-time cornerback.
Yep. And Paul has Yankees American League, Giants Super Bowl, Rangers Stanley Cup, all New York, 19,000 to 1.
A New York special there.
Sending your pizza money place. Get featured, ftm@vsin.com. Tweet at us as well. We prefer the email, though, ftm@vsin.com. Good job, guys.
Yeah, so I think that building legs out from now, I think that the links, even though it's like around even money, maybe a little bit better than that, guy just... Assuming full health here, maybe the Aces do it. The Liberty are not going to do it. The Fever and a series are not going to do it.
The Liberty better make the playoffs.
I know it.
They're the 8th seed.
Maybe Golden State, because they can muck it up against them. Make it maybe, but they are just head and shoulders above everybody else. I've done a couple here, so man, I really
meatballs, sausage,
pepperoni,
sausage rolls. Got to have the bread.
My favorite guy to win an award this year, but I can't bet the current price, is Jahmyr Gibbs, Offensive Player of the Year. Like, this is his, his career year. So I built some parlays around him and the other guy who I really like in the market, Jamar Chase. But Astros to win the division, Indiana to win the Big Ten, Gibbs, Offensive Player of the Year, is 55 to 1. So that was the first one that I did. I then did Astros. I kept it with the Astros and then these two players. Oregon to win the Big Ten, Gibbs is more than 60 to 1. And then when I changed it up and I went Chase, I have Astros to win the division, Indiana Big Ten, Chase is more than 81 to 1. And then Astros division, Oregon to win the Big Ten, Jamar Chase to win Offensive Player of the Year is about 89 to 1.
All right.
I've built it around those specific legs.
The other thing to back Cignetti and not to doubt him, look what he did with, I know you can say the schedule, but what he did with Rourke in year 1.
Right. Oh, for sure.
And to go to the playoff.
Right.
And he wasn't highly touted.
Those were almost all, like, that was an influx of James Madison players that he had.
You can argue Hoover's the most talented quarterback he's had now and had more talent and upside than Mendoza.
Yeah, don't forget, I think it was before the Illinois game last year. Mendoza was still 35 to 1, maybe higher to win the Heisman. Like, we didn't think, like, he was going to come in and take off like he did and turn into the number 1 pick overall in the NFL draft. Yeah. Like, that was still a humongous, like, long shot that had to come in. And Indiana was 100 to 1 to win the title last year before the season started.
We got a game Thursday, Hall of Fame. Then there's 5 games the following Thursday to start week 1 of the preseason. And book your trip to Vegas. Winner's Circle Proxy is VSiN's preferred proxy service. After your required in-person registration, they handle your weekly submissions so you can make your picks from anywhere. One trip to Vegas, play all season long. Schedule your appointment now, winnercircleproxy.com. Get it now, winnercircleproxy.com. Contest time, people, football time. It's here.
There was a move, by the way, with the point spread in the Hall of Fame game on Thursday night today because Carolina's not going to play guys. And then
What do you think, though?
Carson Beck's going to go.
I'm good with Kenny Pickett, though.
Yeah, but
because behind Beck is Slovis. So it's going to be Beck and Slovis. And then I go Pickett and then whatever else Carolina decides to do. But
I like Arizona.
You do?
Yeah, I agree with the line. Yeah,
okay.
I do. Professional bettor Paul Stone ranked his top 15 college quarterbacks in our preseason betting guide. I have to disagree with number 1. That's next here on VSiN.